Welcome to College Smart Radio, helping you bring into focus the true cost of college and how to tackle the runaway costs of financing a college education. College Smart Radio is hosted by Beatrice Schultz, a certified financial planner and co-founder of Westface College Planning. Now, here's your host for College Smart Radio, Beatrice Schultz.
Welcome to College Smart Radio. The cost of college textbooks is outrageous. Colleges estimate that the cost of new textbooks can be as much as $800 to over $1,600 per year. On today's show, we're going to delve into the topic of buying college textbooks. How much do you really need to pay, and what are the best resources to use to pay less? Hi, I'm Beatrice Schultz. Welcome to our weekly show, College Smart Radio, where we help you tackle the runaway costs of a college education. Our show is all about bringing up-to-date and practical advice to parents who are dealing with the cost of a college education for their kids. With a private school costing up to $60,000, a UC costing close to $35,000, and a California State University running $25,000 per year, parents need more help than ever. We bring you that help by sharing ways to pay less, tapping into financial aid, and prioritizing your source of funds to make sure you get through the most expensive years of your life. Based on my own education and experience, I share my insights with you week in and week out. I hold a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering and a Master's degree in International Business. I am a certified financial planner and the owner of the San Carlos-based college planning business, Westface College Planning. I host workshops on college planning and consult with parents on a daily basis. In addition to my insights, I bring in experts in many areas of the college process. From counselors, financial aid officers, college administrators, financial professionals, parents, and even students, you'll learn firsthand the ins and outs of how to pay for college and survive financially. In addition to our show, you can find lots of powerful information at our collegesmartradio.com and westfacecollegeplanning.com websites. We have many articles that I've authored with up-to-date information on navigating the waters of paying for the runaway cost of college. We have a monthly e-newsletter full of content about college planning. We also have posted a glossary of key terms used in the world of college planning. Terms like total cost of attendance, FAFSA, student assets, base year, and so forth. And we have a link to our free community workshops that we host to teach parents how to pay for college and how the financial aid system really works. So let's get into today's show. On today's show, we're going to discuss buying college textbooks. How much do you really need to pay, and what are the options to pay less? When we look at the components that make up the total cost of attendance at college, remember, that was tuition, room and board, books, fees, and miscellaneous expenses such as travel and healthcare. The books expense included in the cost of attendance assumes paying full retail cost for your books. Today we're going to talk about ways to reduce your cost of attendance by reducing the amount you pay for college textbooks. Let's start with how much books cost. Let's look at a few 2012 financial award letters that some of my students have received. Itemized in the cost of attendance in the letters typically would be one section that's called books and supplies. Okay, let's see. DePaul University estimates $1,134 in books for freshman year. UC San Diego, this is for a science student, estimates $1,474 for books and supplies. University of Pacific estimates $1,665 a year. Wow. Now, most statistics you hear are that the average student should budget to pay about $1,000 per year in books. My examples so far seem a little higher than that, but okay, here's a lower example. I have a student at Williams College. Williams College estimates $800 for freshman year in books. So the average of $1,000 per year could be realistic. One shocking reality is that at most community colleges, the cost of textbooks is higher than the cost of tuition. Kenyatta College, here in the peninsula, in the Bay Area, estimates tuition and fees are only $780 a year, while 1 year's worth of books are estimated to cost $1,600. Wow. So what are your options to pay less for textbooks? Every college professor expects students to have ready access to required textbooks, but technically purchasing them is optional. So over the years, students have improvised in a range of ways to dodge buying a new copy, picking up a used textbook, borrowing a copy from the library, sharing with a roommate, renting one, downloading an illegal version, or simply going without. Since college is a huge expense, I certainly wouldn't advise students to limit their access to course material by sharing or going without, and downloading an illegal version would never be something I'd recommend. But you can buy used books at your campus bookstore, on Amazon. Barnes & Noble has used books, college books available. Or you can find a buyer or seller on Craigslist or eBay. And many other companies and entities show up on your web search when you start to think about selling your old textbooks or buying used ones for yourself. Most colleges have some sort of buyback program where you can sell your books to a central place at a discount. For example, at Cal Poly, they partner with a large textbook exchange company to offer a place for students to sell their books at a discount through the college website. Most students are happy to get something for their used books and are happy to be able to find books for their next term courses at a discount, and the convenience of using their campus bookstore as a portal is pretty compelling. But there's a middleman in all these models. The companies that are actually buying the books, selling the books, or renting the books have to be making some money in the middle. So is there a cheaper model? Well, obviously every student who paid full price for textbooks this year should be aware that there are many options to pay less. But where and what are the best deals? My guest today is going to talk a little bit about that with us. My guest today is noted Colorado College Economics and Business Chair and Professor Daniel Johnson. He specializes in the economics of innovation and technological change, but he's best known outside of academic circles because he enjoys writing projects that apply economic models to unusual questions. The one that he's been best known for is predicting Olympic medal counts, and he also uses demographic and economic factors to explain other unusual topics like game show contestant behavior, evaluating the impact of Walmart on residential property values, analyzing where consumers can find the cheapest gas, and many more. Dan is also a well-known and liked teaching professor. In 2010, Dan was named the 11th most popular professor in America. Most recently, Dan founded BookCheetah with the mission of making it easier for college students to buy and sell their own textbooks between themselves on their own terms, typically better terms than the options I described earlier in the show, which is why I've invited him here for today's show. Hi, Dan. Welcome to College Smart Radio.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So, Dan, can you tell us a little bit about BookCheetah and why you created it?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. As you mentioned, I'm a professor of economics who specializes in innovation. So I feel I should kind of walk the walk and not just talk the talk, right? In class, I talk about when you see a market need, when you see a way in which you can change the world for the better, make life better for those you care about or those you haven't met, but whose needs you can envision, then you should do something. You shouldn't just talk about it. You should act. So that's what I've been doing. This is now my third startup, specifically designed to educate or to lower the cost of education. So BookCheetah launched this summer specifically as a student-to-student marketplace. That is, we eliminate the middleman entirely, no bookstore, no intermediary, no markup. You can help your fellow students on the same campus find the books they need, or you can sell the books you don't need anymore, or find the books that you need within your own community. So it eliminates the need to go shopping on Amazon. I mean, you certainly can shop on Amazon if you wish. In fact, you can click straight through BookCheetah and go to Amazon. So we have every book that Amazon does. The difference is we also offer you the option to connect to students locally, students who might live in the same dorm just, say, down the hallway. In fact, I've found two colleagues just down the hallway from me who've greatly appreciated the fact that I just walked down the hall with the book they needed and said, just keep it as long as you want.
So does it work a little bit more like Craigslist than Amazon in the sense that you put in what your search is and someone else puts in what they're looking for, or how would you compare those sites?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair analogy. I like to think of it as more like Match.com. That is, it's not everything and anything under the sun. You can't post a wide variety of things. You can't sell your used ski equipment or lawn mowing services as you might be able to, share on Craigslist. But instead, you post what you need and what you want, and we will, as a matchmaking service would do, look for individuals near you that you might want to date. And in this sense, it's textbook dating, right? It's people who have the book that you want or who want the book that you don't need anymore, so that you can figure out that exchange for yourself. And like a dating service, I mean, that could be a great match. You meet in the quad, or you meet at the corner store and exchange the book for payment for a different book, for loan, for borrow, rent, whatever you wish. Or frankly, you might meet up and realize, it's not really as advertised. We've all been there before, right? Bought things on Amazon or eBay or Craigslist, and it arrives, 3 to 7 to 27 business days later, and it's kind of scuffier and scruffier than the picture indicated. And some of the pages are missing, or it's heavily highlighted, and who wants to learn from a resource like that? So this offers you the nice, virtually free opportunity to look over the options and then actually inspect in person. Figure out whether you actually want to transact and procure this book, buy this book or sell this book, or not. You just walk away.
So, Dan, give us some numbers here. How much is a typical textbook that you would buy retail? How much would you typically buy on a used bookstore shelf, let's say, and how much would you see in this type of book exchange? What kind of numbers are we talking about? And I guess it would also be interesting to know how much you would sell your used books for to some of these typical services that are out there. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, the typical principles level textbook in economics runs about $150, brand new, hardcover, straight out of the book printer. You can probably sell it back after one course worth of use. So, whether that's a semester or a quarter, probably for 40 cents on the dollar if you're lucky. So you might, if you're lucky, be getting $65 back out of that $160 price, at which point the bookstore, as you correctly said in your intro, the bookstore has to make a margin, right? I mean, they're paying rent, they're paying employees, they're paying, fixed operating costs, and they have to cover that through book resales. So they probably mark that up, double it again, and they might sell it used now for $120. Well, I mean, that's great, but if somehow the person who was selling the book back for $65 and the person who is buying that exact same book just off the bookstore shelf used for virtually twice that amount could somehow just find each other on the corner, boy, everybody'd be better off, right? Well, everyone, I guess, except the bookstore.
So that's a great example. And when we come back after our break, I'm going to ask you a little bit about how those numbers are going to differ, or what we should expect if we were using BookCheetah, and also how to get access to your site and how that works. But right now, let's take a quick break. You're with us on College Smart Radio, where my guest today is Dan Johnson, noted Colorado College economics professor and founder of BookCheetah. We all know that college is expensive and will most likely be some of the most costly years for a family. Understanding how to navigate the college costs and to save everywhere you can is a smart thing to do. To help families beyond this radio show, I host community workshops at our Westface College Planning Facility several times a month that explain the costs of various college, the financial aid system works, how the financial aid system works, and things to consider to prepare yourself for this tremendous expense. You can find my workshop schedule at collegesmartradio.com. We'll be right back with Dan Johnson on College Smart Radio.
For more information on today's topic, visit collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1517. College Smart Radio continues in moments on AM 1220 KDOW. Contact Beatrice Schultz at collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1517. Now, back to College Smart Radio with your host, Beatrice Schultz, on AM 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to College Smart Radio, where we help you tackle the runaway cost of college. I'm Beatrice Schultz. I'm talking with my guest, Dan Johnson, about ways to save on the cost of college textbooks. Dan, we were just talking about the economics, I guess we could say, or the cost of what we would expect